very good morning to you. You're watching Sky News Breakfast, and as you can see, I'm joined by Dawn Needham, Kevin Schofield, to talk about the papers today. Shall we start, though, with the Daily Mail? It's Christmas. We will expect King Charles to have a speech, and it's likely to be quite sustainable.
It is, yeah. It's the front page of the Mail on Sunday. Eco-activist King's Green Christmas Day message. His first Christmas speech since our being coronation.
Yeah, in May.
Absolutely. And he's got a very sustainable living tree, which means it's planted in so you can take it out into the garden afterwards. It's decorated with very recyclable, eco-friendly decorations.
I was quite impressed by some of them. You know, the card, 3D paper decorations,
sliced dry
wood
oranges.
turning. You know, it's
droning with stuff, isn't it?
It is. I bet he didn't decorate himself.
I wouldn't have thought
I bet he didn't. And I just really want to know what his grandchildren think of it. Do you think they're impressed by the dried oranges, or do you think they have all the sparkle and the glitz?
Chocolate, probably.
It's interesting the position though, because it's quite clearly standing. If you look at the picture, in front of the balcony at Buckingham Palace, so you can see the monument in the background there, and there's no photos. No, because, you know, every year the Queen used to sit surrounded by family photos.
And you could tell who was in favour and who wasn't.
And she was always pulled up on who was in the pictures there. I mean, I think one year there wasn't a picture of Harry and Meghan. Andrew vanished, understandably, I guess. And there wasn't a picture of Harry and Meghan one year, and she got almost a load of trouble over that, even though I think she'd just done the direct.
And after Philip died, she had one of Philip, which was
But he's avoiding that, so there's just a tree, so he can't be pulled apart on that. And he's wearing a suit he's worn before, so it's all very green and on message.
Indeed, and we won't know the details potentially
it's a closely
until
guarded,
very early in the morning.
Closely guarded secret to try and encourage people to actually sit down and watch it, so they don't know. So they hint at what is in it in this story, but they don't actually have any direct quotes. But given his
sustainability,
well-known history of activism and interest in the environment, it's a pretty safe bet, I think.
Because the Queen always avoided making it political in any way.
She was very good at that, wasn't she?
Yeah,
it was part of her legacy.
Charles, he's quite a political king.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how
it's
going to be.
Under wraps.
Yeah, maybe it'll make more people tune in. 3 o'clock could be here on Sky News, that's for sure. Let's move on. Sunday Mirror, then, Kevin. Home Secretary made a joke. He's calling it an ironic joke that was made in private about spiking his wife's drink. He has since apologised, but this was a private reception with journalists.
Yeah, I mean, when you say it, you just wince, don't you? Making a joke on that subject.
Just understand where his head
especially when you're the Home Secretary, it's ill-advised. Now, his argument would be that it was off the record, it was an ironic joke, it wasn't obviously meant to be for public consumption. However, I think in this day and age, I think it's not in any day and age really, if you're the Home Secretary speaking to journalists, probably not a good idea to be making jokes about
the timing. On the very day they announced the clampdown on the Rohypnol, the date rape, and the fact that it's on the rise, and you know the horrors that going out and having to guard your drink like that religiously. It's just.
But he is.
What's he thinking?
He's unfortunately now gaffe prone. He's officially gaffe prone, and you don't, as a minister, you don't want to be known for putting your foot in it. And he'll survive it, I think. But again, it's just another damage to his reputation, and he's not had a great time of it.
So everyone makes off-coloured jokes, but I mean that was, not the way to do it.
We'll leave it there. His team have since said it was a private event. It was meant to be made in private, and it was an ironic joke. So there is a statement. They've come out and said he also apologises. So
I wonder what his wife meant.
There we go. We'll leave it there for now. Let's move on though. We have a story in the Express, Dawn, and this is about how the Rwanda migrant policy could potentially be the one that really sparks that snap election. And it's caused so much division, hasn't it, within the party?
Huge division, and huge division in the country as well. I think it's certainly between the political parties. Now, we know that there's going to be a general election at some point next year. It's just a question of, is it sooner rather than later? Now, I think if he was given the choice, Rishi Sunak would probably look to push it towards the end of the year, give himself as much time as possible to try and turn around the opinion polls. However, I mean, I think it's a pretty remote possibility, but you can absolutely see a scenario where they try to get this Safety of Rwanda bill through in January. It runs into trouble probably from the right wing of the Conservative Party, who think it's not strong enough. The bill then doesn't go through, and it effectively becomes a matter of confidence in the government. And if you can't get flagship legislation through Parliament, you might as well take it to the country. And there's been these rumours floating around that they could make it a get Rwanda done election in the way that in 2019 was, I don't blame you for rolling your eyes, a get Brexit done election. I don't think it would be as successful for the Tories as the Brexit one. But yeah, I just don't think it's, especially at a time when the cost of living crisis and the state of the NHS are the two main concerns of voters. So as much as Rwanda is very important, certainly to the Conservative Party, I don't think in the wider country it's enough to persuade people to re-elect the Conservative government. It's not what people are worried about watching this now. It's like, can we afford the kids' presents? Can we afford Christmas dinner? Can we pay the heating bills coming up in January? I don't think anyone's getting up over breakfast this morning going, ooh, Rwanda, what do you reckon? I mean, they're not, are they? They're not. So, yeah, I think it's probably unlikely, but you can, as I say, you can definitely see a scenario where we could almost accidentally tumble into a general election campaign over an issue like this.
We should.
It'd be like Turkey's vote for Christmas, wouldn't it, if they call an election now?
Well, right now, with opinion polls.
Dawn, talk to me about a story in the Sunday Telegraph about non-alcoholic drinks.
Yes, obviously, it's impossible to avoid alcohol at Christmas, isn't it? I mean, we even leave sherry out for Santa, don't we?
Or a bit of chocolate milk.
Bit of chocolate milk.
He can't drink booze at every single house.
Well, and he's driving as well, by the way. I mean,
T38 Jet.
Yes. Well, and his sales of non-alcoholic drinks have surged basically by 46% compared to this time last year.
What do you think's behind it then?
It's basically people wanting to be healthier. It's the younger generation.
Younger people definitely don't drink as much.
Who aren't drinking as much as the older generation. And it's a health drive as well. Okay. Men are doing more than women is the other interesting fact here. And the serious side of this is, if you are struggling with alcohol in any way, shape or form, Christmas is an incredibly hard time because you can't avoid it. Everywhere you go, it's, would you like a glass of something? And you know, and if you say I'm not drinking, everyone goes, oh really? What's wrong? It's not
uncomfortable conversation.
Yes, it's not acceptable to not even drink these days.
Yeah. No, absolutely, yeah.
The other story we need to touch on, this is in the Sunday Times, and we're talking Christmas movies. We've got a guest coming up a little bit later, actually, talking about top movies that are out, but I'm pleased to say that A Muppet Christmas Carol is up there.
Yeah. Your kids love that one.
Forget my kids, I love it.
Oh my God, Leah, oh my God.
It's an absolute classic. Michael Caine, obviously, as Scrooge.
His performance was truly authentic, and I think in a recent article that was dug up recently that said that he was taking to that role as if he was on the sort of Broadway. He was taking it deadly serious. And having seen it recently, read the article, when you watch it, you think, my God, what a performance.
He's not phoning it in, even though he's acting with puppets. Obviously, just he's taking it, which is a testament to what a brilliant actor is. Sorry. Well, they're made to look like puppets. It's a good point this article makes, is that all the best Christmas movies, the classics, are all old, and some of them very old, like It's a Wonderful Life, but even Elf is 20 years old now, Home Alone, 30 years old, whereas they're saying there's lots of new movies being made, but none of them can measure up to the
my favourite's Gremlins, and that's coming back.
Yeah, well, there's that whole conversation then, isn't there, about what is a Christmas movie? Because obviously Die Hard,
there's a huge
Bruce
debate
Willis.
about that. You think it's a Christmas movie?
I think it is a Christmas movie, yeah. But again, it's a very old movie as well. So they're saying, for instance, I hadn't realised this, Hallmark has set a record this year with 42 new Christmas movies. 42.
Well, that's a whole different league, because Hallmark have, endless, and they start from about September. I know too much knowledge about Christmas movies.
Don't you?
And it's just rolling. Christmas movies.
Yeah.
It's incredible. They're not very good.
I couldn't name a single recent Christmas movie.
No, exactly. They've named a few here. I've never even heard of them. Whereas it's your, as I say, It's a Wonderful Life, Muppets Christmas Carol,
Elf,
the Holiday,
Home Alone.
The Holiday. Home Alone is brilliant.
Home Alone's a great film.
We've just recently discovered that with our 6-year-old. So
yeah. Oh well, that's for our tradition is watching that while putting up the tree.
Producer says he watches Beaches every year. Leonardo DiCaprio.
That's not a Christmas movie, is it?
Yeah, there's that debate, isn't there? Anyway.
Well, I mean, what's a Christmas
movie? Bette Midler. Goodness me.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a Christmas movie. It's got snow in it. It's Christmas.
Look, let's move on, because the other big talking point in the Mail, Sunday Mail, is about Christmas cooking. It's on page 7, I think. What's this all about then?
This is the lovely Delia Smith. She has been long regarded the person to go to for Christmas cooking. She makes it quite simple as well. They're not complicated recipes. And she's given an interview to our Desert Island Dish saying she has to follow recipes herself now because she can't remember them. So Delia Smith is actually referring to her own cookery books to cook Christmas dinner this year, which is lovely.
My mum used to have a deal, she still does, a Delia Smith cookbook, which she called the Bible.
The Bible,
that was
yeah.
It. She just, and
Classic
it was so
cooking,
well thumbed, the pages were falling out, but she used it that much.
I brought the husband one for Christmas, and because he does all the cooking, and he is really, used
What I
it's
hadn't
quite
realised as
simple.
well is I read an article there, I think related to that one, about how Delia Smith helped to reinvent pigs in blankets. So they were initially invented in the 50s, then kind of fell into abeyance. She started using them and they went nuts again.
Oh, it's a classic, isn't it? You can't not have that at Christmas.
pigs in blankets.
Dawn, Kevin, pleasure.
Thank you very
Merry
much.
Christmas.
Same to you.
Merry Christmas to
Have
you
a
as
good
well.
one.
Thank you.
Well, still to come on Sky News Breakfast.